record now. So welcome, Sydney. Thank you for coming this evening. And so Sydney Sherman is with us here this evening. She's going to talk to us about reincarnation. Don't make the same mistake twice. Thank you for coming. Sydney's been here with us many times. Come to the library many times here at Hagaman. So I'd like to welcome her back. Without further ado, thank you, Sydney, and we look forward to your presentation tonight on reincarnation.
Thank you, Cynthia, for once again having me back at the Hagaman Library. I have been at that library somewhere many times. There's probably a dent in the floor from where I usually stand. Let's hope someday we can all get back together live and in person. It is, better for me interactive wise, but this is nice too. So I don't know who's in the background, but thank you. Can they hear me in the library? Hi, thank you for coming. Today is Peggy's birthday, so you all missed me singing happy birthday. It was awesome. But anyway, so happy birthday, Peggy, and I'm glad you're spending it with us. Cynthia and I go way back, at least, oh my God, Cynthia, how many years?
Quite a while. Yeah, it's been.
Has to be at least 8 or 9 years.
At least, yeah. I think you came in 2013 or 2014.
Yeah.
I think was the first time.
Yeah, the book was written in 2012, so yeah, somewhere around there. So seeing now we have a smaller group tonight, and people will probably come in after they're done with dinner. I don't know, Donna, have you seen any of my presentations before?
No.
Okay, great. And I don't know the name of the lovely lady in the background, but Cynthia, do you know she's seen any of my presentations before?
Yes, she has.
Okay, great. Okay.
Yeah.
So unfortunately or fortunately for the lovely lady in the background, she's going to have to hear the beginning of what I normally start my programs with, because Donna needs to hear it. So she may want to take a nap, give her a pillow or something. But I usually tell people a little bit about myself, because if I don't, then you're not really going to understand where I'm coming from or where I'm getting the information that I have, especially on subjects like reincarnation and past life regression. Before I do get into the program, I do have a nice PowerPoint for you. I just want to review a couple of things because I am so excited. So I do have some other upcoming events, and which is always great. You can go on my website, which hopefully will be working soon. I don't know why it's yucky today, but Peggy's going to put up in the chat the website and my email in case you want to contact me. I do have a brand new podcast. So far, I have 3 episodes, and it's called The Sarcastic Psychic. I'm supposed to be funny because I'm not really a psychic, because nobody really is. But I am very sarcastic. So, that works. And you can find that for right now. You can find that on Spotify. You can find it on my webpage as well. So I'm really excited about that. I don't know how far away everybody is, but I'm going to be up at the Essex Steam Train for part 2 of aura consultations, understanding your aura, and I think reincarnation. Next Wednesday, a week from tonight, Peggy and I will be there. Hopefully it'll be warmer than last time, because Peggy and I were a little cold last time outside.
Froze our butt off.
Okay, so with that being said, a little bit about me. So I was born in Milford, Connecticut. If you know where that is, tiny little town. Apparently from what I see on the news now, it's getting a little rambunctious, but what are you gonna do? I was born to a typical family back in the 60s. Father worked, mother stayed home. I had older siblings, and I was in Girl Scouts and Brownies and all that fun stuff, gymnastics, all the fun stuff the kids used to do. So my family was no different than anybody else's family, and I didn't see it that way anyway. And what happened was I started to, unfortunately, at a very young age, start to realize that we were a little different. It all started when I was in kindergarten, and I was standing out in line, getting ready to go into my school and talking to my friend Ellen. And all of a sudden, I will use the word spirit, even though I don't like that word, girl, came over and started speaking to me. Now, I was used to, it wasn't no big deal to me. It was just a little girl. So I started speaking back. And Ellen right away started asking me, who are you talking to? Well, I got a little upset because she kept harping on it, and then started making fun of me. And she started calling me names, and the kids in line started laughing at me. And, I was only 6 years old. I understand why they were laughing at me, but one thing led to another, and I called Ellen stupid, and she called me stupid, and I ran home crying to my mother. When I got home, after my mother got over the shock of me being, back at the house, I told her what had happened, and she looked at my pop-up, who just happened to be living with us at the time, or staying with us at the time, she told him what happened, and she looked at him and she said, okay, take her. Now, my grandfather was not a mean man. He was a wonderful man. He was very sweet. Him and I were very, very close. So, I didn't know what she meant, take her. And what was I going to get, a spanking or something? Because I left school. So he took me outside to the old fashioned station wagon. And for those of us who were old enough to remember, the ones with the wood paneling on the sides, the third seat that faced the back. So he took me out in the car in the third seat, and he looked at me and he says, Sydney, you see who you see, you hear who you hear, and that's okay. But you have to shh. I'm 6. 6-year-olds do not know how to shush. I'm going to be 60 next month. And Peggy can tell you, I don't know how to shush. I still don't. I was born with, like, you don't have to get so excited, Peggy. Are you done? She gets really excited for some reason, but anyway, it's her birthday. I'll give her a break. But back in the day, and Donna, I don't know how old you are, but if you remember anything about the 60s, if you remember any of that time period in the 70s, kids saw adults in a different way. And so, when you have an adult authority figure saying, you have to shush, parents didn't do secrets with kids. Kids didn't ask questions of their parents like that. How much money you make? It just wasn't done. Children should be seen and seldom heard. So it was a different time. So I was taken aback when he said I had to shush, and I got scared. So he started explaining to me what it was I saw, what it was I was experiencing, and that it was normal, but not everybody does it. So again, I'm 6. He starts explaining to me at that time what it was that I had been seeing, what it was I've been experiencing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain it to you exactly the way he explained it to me. And at the end, I just want, thumbs up or thumbs down. Do you think at 6 years old, with your 6-year-old brain put back on, that you would have been able to understand what it was that he was saying? So my pop-up felt, as I do, that we are all part of the vast universal energy, that our essence, our soul, our life, whatever you want to call it, comes from the universal energy. I keep hearing a frog. Does anybody else hear that?
Frog?
Okay, then. So
I hear that.
you don't hear that? It sounds like a quack, like quack. A duck. It's a duck. It sounds like a duck. Anyway, so that's how my grandfather felt. And he felt that before we were born, this is where we were, our energy. Nobody just heard that again. Come on. All right, I'm going to ignore it. So my grandfather felt that if before we were born, this is the shape that we were in. This is the essence of us. This is where we were. And then when our mother gets pregnant, so this is our essence, we get a candy-coated shell like that. Here's your physical self. This is time stamped. It can only last so long. This can get COVID. This can get cancer, diabetes, have an amputation, the flu. This has psychological problems, depression, anxiety, all those things, because this is human, frail, and can only last so long. This is not. This is your energy. This is your physical self. But this is how we are as we all walk around right now. At some point in time, when it's time for our death, once again, there's a separation of our physical self from our energy. The physical self is cremated or buried, whichever your choice happens to be. But you're still here. That which made you truly who you are is still here. Okay. How many of you think you would have got that at 6?
No.
No. How about in the background? I'm having a hard time. You think yes, no?
No.
So, and I didn't either. Honestly, what came out of that whole thing was I was scared. I was like, what is he talking about? I mean, I was freaked out. I really, really was. So what he meant to do was he meant to try to make me feel better about the incident and about maybe start to help me understand things, because he probably knew there'd be more instances. But unfortunately, he terrified me. And I think about this as an adult, and I'm like, he really was no good way for him to tell me. I mean, how are you going to tell a 6-year-old? There was really no good way. He did the best he could. So I got to tell you, I did pretty good with trying to, but again, I'm a child. And in my first book that I wrote, which he is on the cover right there, there's Papa right there. You are not alone. Our loved ones are here. You're just not listening. I have several stories in there about, different things that occurred to me that just to show people that I am normal. But there's one particular story that's in the book that I talk about on a regular basis, because I really think it helps you understand that I am you. You are me and I am you. We're the same. Do you remember Donna, and I'm sorry, I don't know her name, but do you remember Duck Duck Goose? Playing it in school, Duck Duck Goose?
No,
Donna, you missed it.
I know.
Okay, so Duck Duck Goose, no, you didn't miss anything. Duck Duck Goose, because Donna doesn't know, you'd sit in a circle outside in the 60s, usually be on hot asphalt, and you'd be a girl, so you'd be in a dress. That was fun. And then what would happen is somebody would walk around the circle going duck, hitting the top of the head, duck, 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 all the way around, and then they'd tap their head goose on their favorite person, and they'd go running, and that person had to get up and chase them before they sat back down. And then they'd be able to go, okay. Horrific. I never liked it. I was never picked. So it was like really, every time we played it, I just wait for the horror to be over, sitting on that asphalt. So this particular day, I'm sitting down. Here comes the most popular kid in second grade, if that's even possible. Duck, duck, duck. And all of a sudden he hits my head, says goose, and he goes running. So I'm shocked. I am like really, really shocked. And my first thought was, my his girlfriend now, does he like me? Does he like me? Because that's what girls do. And then the second part was like, I know that means I'm popular now because, they picked me because I'm popular and, so now I'm popular. So I knew I had to pick a popular kid. So I got up and I took my time, duck, 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 going around the circle. Took my time because I knew I'd probably never have this again. I'm trying to find a popular kid so I could stay popular. Halfway around the circle was this little girl.
No.
What do you want me? What would you like me to do?
It says our meeting's gonna end in 10 minutes, so
I can't finish this up in 10 minutes.
no, I know. So yeah, just keep going and we'll log off and then log back in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I looked halfway around the circle and here's a little girl sitting on the ground about as pathetic as I am, never was picked either. And a woman standing behind her saying, pick her. Well, I didn't want to pick her because she's not popular, but my mother raised me right. So I get around to her, I hit her on the head and I say, goose, and I go running. I quickly realize she's not following me. So I go back, this time I stand right there, tap her on the head. I say, goose. She doesn't move. She doesn't lift her head up. She doesn't do anything. So what do? The same thing every one of you would have done. I turned around, I looked at her, the woman, and I said, she's goose. You told me to pick her. She's goose and she won't get up. And next thing I know, the whole circle of kids is laughing at me again. And it's like kindergarten all over again. So once again, I'm upset. I'm embarrassed. I'm like, ruh-roh. I'm supposed to shush. I'm going to get in trouble. So I ran into the school to hide. And I just knew when those kids came back in from recess that they were just going to hand it to me. But they didn't. When they came into the classroom, they took their seats. They didn't say a word. And my favorite teacher, Miss Tingley, she came up to me and she said, Sydney, want to go clap erasers? All right, so Donna, and I don't know about the lovely lady in the background. If you've ever clapped erasers before, if you ever had an opportunity when you were in school, it was the biggest thing to do. Everybody wanted to clap erasers. So I happily went outside to clap erasers. And the whole time we were out there, we didn't talk because we're getting ready to go back inside. Miss Tingley looked at me and she said, Sydney, we're all a little different. And I always wondered, did she know? Was she just being kind? Did she sense something? But, I'll never know. I wish I'd asked. But again, here's an incident where I'm a normal child, and that's how you react. When somebody's not doing something and somebody told you to do it, you go to that person who told you to do it and said she's not doing it. That's normal. We all would have done that. So I pretty much had a few more instances I went on with school. And in seventh grade, I started getting very frustrated with the fact that now I'm learning a lot. I'm older. I can understand things. I'm seeing things clearer. I'm understanding. I'm interacting. I'm doing my own research. And I can see people having interactions with their loved ones' energies all the time. And they're reacting. We always react. Our body responds even if we don't understand it. And yet they're missing out. So an example would be I've been stop and shop with my mother. And a woman would be going to reach for the can of peas, on the shelf. And her loved one would go place their energy on the shoulder. The woman would stop. She'd react. She'd go like this, look. And then she'd go back for that can of peas. And I'd be like, oh, she was right there. She was right there. We have those all the time. But I got very frustrated. Like I said, in seventh grade, I was like, I got to do something. People have to understand. We're all going to die. And everybody needs to understand what's going on now because someday we're going to be dead and people are going to be ignoring us too. But I still had to shush. So I did something half good. I formed at that time in 1978, the first, what they call now paranormal group. It's not what they called them back then, called Connecticut Ghost Hunters. So we were the first in New England in 1978. Very proud of it. We were around for several years until, we went to school and then we got back together again and then we separated, we got back together. But what we do is we would go into people's houses that claim to have paranormal or all this nonsense stuff that they saw on TV. And we'd explain to them that, no, that's Uncle George, Auntie Em, and your puppy. Okay. And because we were able to prove to them why it was, where the science was that supported the fact that it was their loved ones in there and not some demons from some portal from hell. That's not what happens. I went through high school and I went on to college. I became,
Sorry.
huh?
I'm going to interrupt you for just 1 second. I'm
Yep.
sorry. So I think what's going to happen is I'm going to have to send everybody, I'm going to have to send you a new Zoom link. And then I'm going to send one to Donna. And then if you could forward the one I send you to Peggy,
Mhm.
and then we'll be able to get back on. Because I think
Okay.
that's what I'm going to have to do in order to, I think this link is going to go away once it goes out. So I just wanted to say that. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I'll just, when we get locked off, I'll just
Yeah.
look for your email and log back on.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, Sydney.
It's all right. So do you want to log off now or do you want to wait for the 5 minutes?
You can keep going for a few more
Oh.
minutes. Yeah, we have 5 minutes. Yeah.
Okay. So I forgot where I was. I'm gonna sneeze too. Can I sneeze? Okay, sneeze to the truth. All right. So I went to college. I became a registered nurse. Left college, married my husband, had 2 kids. Busy time. So you're too busy with kids and stuff to do anything else. And then what happened in like 2010, paranormal puppy, paranormal state, paranormal, whatever, ghost hunters, they all come out. I'm like, here we go again with all this nonsense baloney. But I'm an adult now, so I can do what I want. And I need people to know. So nobody can tell me no, because I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a nurse, leave me alone. So I said to my husband, I said, I'm going to write a book. And he looked at me and he said, but sweetheart, you don't even read. That's not true. I actually do a lot of reading. I do a lot of studying, mostly science stuff. No, I don't read like romance novels, but that's okay. So I sat down in my little house here in Madison and I did write my first book, You Are Not Alone, this one right here. As you can see, it's a great novel. It's what I like to call a 2-bathroom read, 3 if you're having trouble. And it's, it's a cute little book, but I am not an author by trade. I am a nurse. Okay. So if I didn't have a friend who was a very good editor, it would have started with the first word, ran all the way through it, and 9 chapters later ended with a period, because that's all I know. But I want it to be a book where people can read. It wouldn't be over their head. It had scientific facts in there, links that they can research themselves to see where I'm getting the information from. But mostly just a talk like you and I are having right now. Something that sounds like I'm just talking to you and we're having this conversation. And that's exactly what I got. So I was very happy with it. I thought maybe my parents or friends maybe would feel sorry for me and buy a copy. But the book has done very, very well. And it's been bought, read, and sold on every continent except Antarctica. Maggie?
Yep, and sorry, I put it away for the party.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you what Peggy
Yeah.
usually. So Peggy's got a book, one of my books, and it's actually in the sleeve and ready to go. And she says, she's been saying for 1.5 years, she's going to send it to the penguins in Antarctica. So apparently she thinks penguins read. But anyway,
Scientist.
okay, penguin scientist, same thing. So the point is that it's done very well. I'm very shocked and I'm very surprised. I did write 2 other books after that, but again, all in the same genre about energy and things like that. So what Peggy and I do mostly now is educate people on afterlife, thanatology, which we're just going to discuss during this, about auras. Oh, there it is. Thank you. It still hasn't ended up in the mail though, has it? Anyway, so anything
Can I
has
ask
to
a
do.
question?
Yep.
Do you feel you've been reincarnated?
Do I do now. I do now. So I'm saving because the time's going to run out any minute now. I would hate for me to do the explanation so we can get into the thing. I'm afraid to start now because it might get cut off. So usually by now I would have actually been where you're looking, Donna, for me to be right now, but I'm afraid it's going to get cut off. So I didn't want to do that. So that's what Peggy and I do now. You have to understand that your energy is everything. Your energy controls everything that you do. It is your life force, and it is responsible for you to be able to feel your loved ones, sense things about yourself, your own health, to be able to tell you what's right, what's wrong, what's good for you, what type of spouse is good for you, what relationships you're good in, but also help you touch base with those things that happened in prior lives. Because
Yeah.
you got to remember, this is the carcass. This is in the ground. This has been with you since the beginning, before you were even born. So if anything went through reincarnation, it was this, your energy, your aura.
Mhm.
So that's the whole preface. And I think I'm going to stop talking now and allow us a time to have a little pause. Is that all right, Cynthia?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm gonna
No, that's
try-
okay.
I'm gonna try to find the library account to get in so that it's not gonna stop again. That's
All right. So just be prepared for part 2.
Part two, yeah.
All right. So am I hanging up?
Well, it says less than 1 minute left, so it's probably gonna cut out in just a second.
Oh, you want to wait for it to actually cut out? Should we sing Peggy happy birthday again?
Yeah,
Happy birthday to
that
you.
would be nice if it does reset, but I don't think it's gonna.
No, it's just gonna disconnect. Shh, that's what my account does.
It does, yeah.
Oh.
I still hear something quacking.
I just heard something.
Thank you.